We are going to jump into episode 342, your retirement checklist. You know, I don't know about you, but I love checklists. When I go into work in the morning and I make out a list of everything that I intend to accomplish for that day, and I go through that list and I check them off, I don't know. There's just something at the end of the day, I just really feel accomplished. I don't know if you're that type of person, but if you are going to enjoy this episode because this episode is all about having a retirement checklist. What are some of the things you need to be thinking about? Now, I want to tell you the reason that this episode, the reason I was thinking about this is because we just launched, let me tell you, you're getting a little bit of a sneak peek, a preview at what's to come. So we're hoping the first part of next week, we're going to have a new community component rolled out for our RBC community, for the Retirement Budget Calculator. And so what that means is that when you log into Retirement Budget Calculator, you are automatically going to have access to our community. You're going to see a little blue button down in the lower right-hand corner of the site once you're logged in. And that community function I'm so excited about it because we've been operating RBC Nerds as a private Facebook group, but now community is going to be built right into the calculator. And there's nothing more powerful than people coming together to help one another. And one of the features that we're going to have within the calculator are checklists, things to be thinking about. So if you're like me and you like checklists, you're probably going to like that feature. But let's get into this issue. So the first one is, as we start thinking about cash flow, you know, I sound like a broken record. Retirement's all about cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. If real estate's all about location, 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 retirement's all about cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. You just need to figure out how it is that you're going to have the income coming in that you need to support you as you transition through retirement. Will your cash flow needs change? If so, consider developing a new income and expense plan. Will you be receiving a pension? If so, consider the following. There may be multiple payout options, single, joint life. You may have the opportunity to do a lump sum or a partial lump sum. Coordinating strategies may exist between pension and Social Security or life insurance. Could there be pensions and or retirement benefits from a previous employer that you may be forgetting? Are you retiring early? If so, consider the following. Social Security benefits may be reduced if you earn more than $18,960 and are collecting benefits prior to your full retirement age, or if you earn more than $50,250 in the year that you reach full retirement age. Social Security will be reduced if you collect prior to your full retirement age. You can access your 401k penalty-free if you leave your employer in the year you turn 55 or later. Will you or your spouse receive a pension from an employer that did not withhold Social Security taxes? If so, consider the impact of the Social Security Windfall elimination provision or the government pension offset. And I was just emailed just this morning about this issue. And for those of you that are going to be potentially experiencing this, the Social Security Windfall elimination or the government pension offset, Social Security has a really wonderful calculator for you. Just Google Social Security Windfall Elimination Provision Calculator to help you understand how your Social Security is going to be impacted. Are you currently married? If so, consider additional Social Security claiming strategies. Were you married previously and currently unmarried? If so, consider the following. If the marriage lasted 10 years and ended in divorce, you may be eligible for benefits under your ex-spouse's record. If the marriage lasted for more than 9 months and ended due to your spouse passing away, you may be eligible for benefits under your deceased spouse's record. Some of the health insurance related issues that you need to be thinking about. Will you be retiring before age 65 and need health insurance? If so, consider the following. You are not eligible for Medicare until age 65. If you are a health insurance marketplace enrollee and household income is between $12,760 and $51,040 for one person in the household, or $17,240 to $68,960 for two people in the household, you may be eligible for the premium assistance tax credit. This is important especially as you're thinking about how you're going to be sourcing your income from which accounts you're going to be sourcing income in those early years before Medicare starts potentially. Will you have to change your employer-sponsored health insurance upon turning 65 or upon retiring from your employer? If so, you are under age 65, you may need to look to Cobra or the health insurance marketplace. If you are age 65 or over, you may need to sign up for Medicare. Will you need additional insurance such as vision or dental coverage? Are you contributing to an HSA? If so, consider HSA and Medicare coordination issues. Will your modified adjusted gross income exceed $88,000 if you're single or $176,000 if you're married filing jointly? If so, you may be subject to Medicare income-related Medicare adjustment surcharges. Are you disabled? If so, you may be eligible for certain benefits or have the ability to access benefits early. Have your needs for life insurance changed? Are you concerned about funding long-term care? If so, consider long-term care insurance, self-insurance strategies, and assisted living communities. If you have LTC insurance, long-term care insurance, does it need to be reviewed to ensure that it meets your needs? Here are some asset and debt issues for you to think about as you're getting ready to retire. Do you have stock options, grants, or restricted stock units? If so, consider how your retirement affects your rights and the impact upon your tax liability and your cash flow planning. Will your investment objectives or risk tolerance change? If you're a business owner, do you need an exit strategy or a succession plan? If you have annuities or illiquid assets, do they need to be reviewed to understand options? Do you have a loan on any employer retirement plans? If so, you may need to plan for how to pay it back and be mindful before rolling the balance to another plan. Do you have a deferred compensation plan? If so, coordination strategies may exist between pension, Social Security, or life insurance. Do you have multiple accounts with similar tax treatment? For example, multiple 401ks or IRAs. If so, consider consolidating accounts to reduce complications. Will you change your residence? If so, this may impact tax liability, cash flow planning, and or Medicare Advantage plan if you are going to be moving out of network. And just on a side note here, I talked to some people earlier this week who shared with me that they moved from the sunny state of Washington here to another state. Their property taxes dropped from $7,000 a year to less than $1,000 a year. So, where you live can play a big part in how much money you get to keep after the tax man takes his ounce of flesh. That's how it feels sometimes. Mortgage refinance. So, mortgages or banks like to lend based on your income, not your assets. So interest rates are really low. Is this a time as you're getting ready to retire, do you need to be thinking about doing a refinance? Capture some of these all-time low interest rates. Reduce those payments down before you head into retirement to free up cash flow. Here's a couple of tax planning issues. Do you expect to have large required minimum distributions? If so, consider strategies to reduce the RMDs, such as Roth conversions or qualified charitable distributions. Upon retirement, do you expect your income to be lower? If so, consider deferring any Roth conversions until you are in a lower tax bracket. Some long-term planning issues. Do you expect that your estate will exceed the unused federal estate and gift tax exclusion amount? So $11.7 million to $23.4 million if you're married. If so, consider strategies to plan for a possible federal estate tax liability. Are you charitably inclined? If so, consider charitable giving strategies to reduce your tax burden. Is your estate plan old or possibly outdated? We've got another checklist for that called, what issues should I consider before I update my estate plan? Do the account beneficiaries need to be reviewed and possibly updated? This includes retirement plans, life insurance, transfer on death accounts, payable on death accounts.